Well, it's pretty special. I mean, there's a great group of people that, we've inducted over the years, and they've all done so much for the shootout, whether it's financial help or being a Top Gun winner year after year after year, and they're pretty special people. So to be inducted along with them is pretty cool.
Well, it means a lot because I usually are the one that is voting on who is the next inductees with the board. And I've went through and honored as many people that has been helping on my side of the course area until I run out of them, But yeah, now I'm in the honors with them. That means a lot that, we've put a lot of people out there that has worked really hard and dedicated. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know if I'm worthy or not, but I sure try.
Well, first off, doing this so many years, it's an honor being appreciated for what you've done, and plus from the past inductees, just to being associated with these guys means a bunch. And then especially something you love and actually get rewarded for it.
It means a lot. Was certainly not expecting it. I know the Hall of Fame, they give a lot of thought to the people that go in, and I'm humbled by it. I certainly had no idea that it would ever happen, nor did I expect it.
It's a great blessing. I've got here by friends and family. I've had a lot of pressure, and a lot of people behind me supporting me, and it's just gotten to what it is today, and got my speeds, and it is what it is, and that's where we're at,
It was a great honor to be voted into the Hall of Fame. We had no idea we was even thought about, So it was a big surprise.
I got invited by John Solentrop, who is also a Hall of Fame member from the Sunrise Beach Fire Department, over to Shooters the last year they had at Shooters. And he invited me up into the VIP room in the command center up there. And he kind of looked at me and he says, hey, they're going to tear this place down. We need a new home. And I said, I got a great spot for it. He says, I know you do. So, we kind of got the ball rolling as soon as he said that, before the shootout was even over that year, and start putting together a plan. And I got a group of guys together that really, and that's what I'm going to say tonight, is they couldn't say no to me. And it's a pretty special group, and they're still with me today. So that's kind of how it got started.
It actually happened years ago when I was in my early 20s, and when it was at Shooters 21, I was on the volunteer fire department with Sunrise Beach. That's when we acquired the first fireboat at the Lake of the Ozarks, and I actually patrolled back then in my early 20s on the fire department, actually patrolling the course at that time. But then whenever it started over here, Ron got together with several business owners and said, hey, I think we can do this. And then we went and proposed to the fire departments and give a real good presentation. It worked out well. We had the best course layout, the best safety items that was all needed by the fire departments, and we've been working with them ever since.
Been coming down here since the 80s, probably about the 82. And they're on 89, 90, start hearing the shootout thing. And I grew up around the lake in Carlisle Lake, Illinois, and brought a boat down, and I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. And 93 was my very first shootout. Blast. Didn't know they had something like that, just to go out there and just run wide open, and because the cops are all over this lake, and so basically you go out there and run wide open and they can't do nothing to you.
It began when Ron Dugan contacted me. They were looking for an upgrade to the program guide. Thought it had an opportunity to make more money for the shootout. So that's how it all started.
2003, I come down here, I was floating in a little boat I had, and was sitting out in the middle of the lake, and these people are racing by, and I was like, what's going on there? And realized that, went back home and told my wife, I think we can do this, because I'm a pontoon guy anyway. And bought our house at the same time they ran the first shootout, and been doing it ever since. So.
Yeah, we ran our first boat through here in 1990, I think. And then we went offshore racing and come back, and after we crashed, we come back in the mid-90s and started running again.
Well, it's not so much me, but I think from where they started at, being at the 100-mile-an-hour mark, I think when I was standing there at Shooters and I watched Dave and John break that 200-mile-an-hour mark, I think that's when everybody's mouths dropped. I think that was kind of the turn where, okay, this is getting serious. I think that was the biggest thing for me on the lake, the 200-mile-an-hour. So,
well, it has to be when the Shake hit 244 and did not disqualify at the end. I just knew that he wasn't going to be able to get shut down in time, and I was praying, and he hit a hard bank at the end and got stopped before the end, so I didn't have to disqualify a 244-mile-an-hour run, which was unbelievable.
There's so many, meeting all these people and getting to see them every year, that's really cool. There's guys that come from California and Texas and Wisconsin and everywhere else, and Michigan, that we've become really good friends. I'd say the first year had a lot of naysayers, didn't think we could pull it off. And I had a guy come up to me on Sunday and said, hey, I just want to shake your hand and thank you, because I said you couldn't do it. And I was wrong. And that sticks with me.
Oh, by far and away the Sheik, when he came over, and that morning was down on the dock, and it was very, very cool to see somebody come across the pond. And just amazing day, morning. It's great for the shootout. Gave a lot of international publicity.
I've hit 114 twice in 2 different pontoon boats with the same motors I've had since '03. I mean, it's a stock boat, stock hull pontoon boat, factory built. And just the people that come up to me and appreciate what I've done, different factories and different people that own pontoon boats, it's just been, they're amazed, and it is what it is. It's unreal.
When we hit our 208 the first time in 2015.
It was pretty cool. We always knew it could be big. We kind of had that vision. They did a great job with it, the fire departments before, but they were pretty limited on how much they could raise. And we thought getting the community and a lot of business people involved, and in addition to the firefighters, that we could do a lot more with it. So, I kind of always set a goal for myself about $250,000 in year 10. We didn't make that, but we definitely made up for it last year with $300,000.
Well, it's always been our goals, and Ron keeps putting the higher goals up every year, and it's hard for me to fathom that we've actually hit them and surpassed them. We just, we don't know if we're going to make 250. Well, heck, we're going to make 300. Oh, what's going to happen this year? The event's gotten so much bigger. It's not just a race on Saturday and Sunday. There's, a dozen or 15 different activities now that it's involved, as far as golf, volleyball, and you name it. The street party is just a big thing, so treasure hunt. They just keep on adding onto it, the festivities, and it's just only going to get better.
It was not surprising with all the people that are involved with it, and the amount of volunteers, and that was really the goal, to get to that and more. So to the community, it meant a ton.
Yeah, our crew of about 25 people, my wife, my sons, and Tony and John, the guys that drive the boat. But we have a lot of people who come to it. I think we got 40 here tonight. So.
Well, other than my bio, I gotta thank Ed Grimm. He's helped me a lot down here at the lake. Jim Watson built some motors for me. The guys at Performance Marine, they've been nothing but just, they'll drop what they're doing and help me if I've got a problem with the boat. Randy Sism, that's exactly got me started in the racing. Him and his father-in-law, Carl Greninger. So Alvin Heathman, he was my driver in the race boat too when I was running offshore. So got to thank those guys. They helped me out a bunch through the years.
First and foremost, probably Forest River, which is the brand of my boat, South Bay. Parker Marine, they've helped me since '03 when I started. Been there true and true. French Construction, and myself.
Well, Kent Morris for one, you know, and that's why I wanted him in the hall this year. You know, he was my first phone call, and you know, his wife and him, that we've been friends for a long time. His wife's worked for me for 33 years, I think now, and so Kent's always been a great friend. And so he was the first call, and I'm like, dude, you're on the water all the time. Can you do this? And he's like, absolutely. And I'm like, all right. So then we made a few other calls. Mark Mawson was the next call, Don Silva, Connie Weir, you know, and we kind of got a little group together, and they were all like, yeah, you know, I'll take this part of it, I'll take this part of it, and let's run with it. And like I said, that group's still on the board with me today, and it's been a great friendship. The most important person, obviously, was Nicole, you know, and I kind of went to her with the idea, and I said, you know, this would be great. We got a new restaurant. It's going to be great for the restaurant, but it's going to be great for the community. And she's like, you know, I'm behind you, whatever you want to do. And through the trials and tribulations of going through this thing and expanding, it's been a lot. And she's been by my side the whole time, and she gets it. You know, she's one of those people that, you know, she's not difficult. You know, she understands the big picture. And those days that get kind of long and a little tiring, you know, and I get a little cranky, as she calls it, they're all good, you know, because she understands the big picture.
I have a core of people. I have the radar crew. I've got Sandy LaFoon, Michael and Tony Wagner are the radar crew. We have Justin Martin, which has been doing the start boat forever. He's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. You got to have your core people, you know, and then you got your fire department, obviously, and water patrol, which I work heavily with. But you know, patrol boats, my son, Adam Morris, and Jane Morris, the wife, they have taken over the patrol and taken it out of my hands. I don't have to deal with it. They just get it handled. So I'm just very fortunate to have that many people behind me.
Well, I think it's because, one thing, it's all charity, you know, and it seems like that kind of brings out the best of everybody, and it benefits a lot of people, and it's just grown so much for being something that started in '89 to get where it is today. I mean, it's just, I don't think you can kind of figure out how it goes. I think it's just people just like to come to it. People
from all around the states come here. It's great to see all these different license plates come into town, and you know it's a big deal when you see all these plates come into town. There's some stuff going on. I'm happy to be where I'm at and done what I've done, and being the fastest pontoon boat since '03. It's just great.
I think it's the amount of money that's raised for charity. No question about it. I don't think there's any overall that compared to where we are today and where we're going to be long past after I'm gone.
The volunteers.
Volunteers.
Yeah, they make it. Without the volunteers, we wouldn't have a race this many years. So.
There's a lot of selfless people, over 700 volunteer hours, and everyone's pulling together for one cause. Is for several charities. Used to be just for the fire department only whenever it was they had it, and now since there's more community involvement, now everyone's getting into the act and putting the effort out there, making the event bigger than it ever could have been, because you can only do it with so much with X amount of manpower that the fire department had.
You know, we just keep growing every year. You know, the enthusiasm, you know, that is brought to this event by the participants, by the community, the volunteers, all the participants and the crowd, the spectators that come to this thing. You know, it's huge, and it just keeps growing. And you know, we worried a little bit when we went to 3/4 of a mile that might diminish some of the excitement. Actually increased it. And you know, people were coming up to me on the stage, the awards ceremony, saying, "Wow, you know, this was different, but we've got a renewed enthusiasm about it." And so, you know, there's just a lot of excitement about it, and it's such a great cause, and people are coming from all over the country for this great cause. So I don't see that it just any downturn. I think it just continues to grow and grow, and the more and more people get involved, and the more and more people that love to come to the Lake of the Ozarks, it's just going to keep growing, and we hope to continue to break records in every aspect of this event every year.